Are you fine?
I'm fine.
Okay, you're fine.
I'm fine.
Okay, great. We're going to start this thing now. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Awesome. Hi, welcome to the Kyle Hike Club. My name is Kyle. I've got a very special guest here today. We're both sporting our pink. I've got my pink pants on. She's got a pink hair on. I guess you got a feeling who I'm speaking to. I'm speaking to the one and only the Catharina. Hello, welcome.
Hello, thank you.
How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling good.
Good. Well, you said earlier today you had a rough day. So
Yeah. Well, now you are here, so I feel better.
Yeah, I just thought, you know what? If you go to someone's house, just dress appropriately. Okay?
And now you dressed in pink.
Accordingly.
Yeah. I wanted like a deeper shade of pink though.
I'll try next time, but finding pink pants for a guy is very hard. It's harder than you think.
But
actually.
go to the women's section.
My problem with women's pants are they've got very shallow pockets. I don't know why. Why do women's pants have got shallow pockets? Don't you guys also have cell phones?
We never put anything in the pockets.
Because it's got handbags. Why have pockets in the first place, though? Because I was thinking, okay, cool. If the pockets are that shallow, why even have pockets? What do you put in those pockets?
And now I have to have a handbag, you know?
Exactly. But
I didn't want a
just
handbag.
remove the pockets from the beginning, then you don't have the trouble to figure out what you put in them.
But now they closed the pockets, so
Okay,
it's
that's
not
great.
now.
But now you want me to go buy closed pockets, being a guy, then I need to get a handbag. That's
It's
going
called
to
a man bag.
satchel or a merce. All right. So just to get everybody up to speed, Mitha's a musician, right? She's been doing music for how long have you been doing music, if I may ask?
Such an awkward question every
Yeah.
time.
Every time.
Every time. I don't know. I grew up in a house where you had to do music to grow culturally. That was my mom's words, not mine. And but I was always drawn to music, so I don't think I think much about it. And then I end up going studying it, and it wasn't my first option. And now I'm just in it for life, apparently.
So when you grew up in a household, was music initially like a laborious task, like something you have to do instead of actually wanting to do it?
No, I have pictures of being in diapers in front of the piano. So my father was, well, I can't say he was a singer. He was like like an opera singer that part-time, you know. So music was kind of part of his career when he was young. And I had older siblings, and it was like part of what they just did. So one had violin, and the other one had piano lessons, and so we all went through piano lessons. And I tried the violin. I didn't like it as much as I wanted to like it. It's a very like my ears get quickly irritated, so it was very hard for me. Yeah.
And it's right there by your ear.
So I struggled with that. I wanted to play the cello, and now I'm going through all my instruments. That's weird. But but I related to it, and we all sang choir, and so it was just a big part of our lives.
So when did you decide to actually, you know what, this is part of the family, but this is something that you want to pursue and not do something else? Because I think a lot of people see music as a hobby. I think the general public see it as a hobby. When did you decide, you know what, this is part of my family, but this is something that I want to run with? At what stage in your life did you make that decision?
I started writing music. It's something that just happened after my parents divorced. So I spent a lot of time behind the piano, and just started making melodies with it. And then I went to a piano teacher, and she thought that was great, so she trained me how to write it down and, you know, to notate it. And I think my teenage years were very hard for me, so this was like my thing. You know, I will like get home and play piano and just get with the vibration of because I love the vibrations of the piano, and just sing my emotions. And then I had friends that came over, and they asked, "Oh, please play your song again," because
that's your song. That is part of you.
Yeah, but it was. I don't know if it was that. I had a friend. She related very to it.
Yeah.
You know, And so I started partaking in writing competitions, and I think I was more drawn to be a writer. And I had this extreme fear of being on stage. So, and I loved the theater, so I decided to go into theater, and then the music will fill in, and be this weird.
Like write music for theater.
No. The theater is just gonna help me, adapt to the stage.
Like give you the confidence for
Yeah.
public speaking.
And I don't know if I thought about speaking. I was more thinking about like just singing in front
Yeah.
of people. It was
Being
very
able-
hard for me. You
Being
couldn't.
able to do what you do in your bedroom and
Yeah.
living room to the public.
And I think more and more people say to me, "Oh, this is great," like keep on doing it, and so I did. I think, and like I said, I wanted to be a writer, and I think I imagined myself like this folky singer with a guitar.
Oh, yeah.
And that never happened. And and some people said I wrote too dark music. I used to write Afrikaans actually,
Oh, wow.
and then they said it's too dark, or it's too ballad, or it's too, I don't know, not doof or something.
But your music that you wrote that people saw as dark, of course you write it. It had to come from a certain space. So your main inspiration, you told me previously that it's a type of therapy. So is it about overcoming something in your life? What was your main motivation behind writing, in inverted commas, a
Dark music.
Dark music.
I think it's just to feel better, So, and now and then people started relating to it, because people also go through the same things that you don't think they go through. So it was just to feel better, and then I did feel better.
Your main inspiration, did it come from other music that you listened to, or was it everyday things that you felt that you've personally experienced? So your writing process, does it come from inspiration from other music, or do you mainly write about yourself? What are you experiencing? How to deal with your own problems?
When I was younger, my favorite writer was Koos Du Plessis.
Oh, nice.
And he had this thing that he didn't listen to music, that it shouldn't influence him. So I was like, yes, I'm doing this vibe now.
No way. No
So
music.
no music.
Yo, that's horrible.
And then I went through a Disselblom, and
yeah.
I do believe in like influence, and Lorica Rao. And
she's my jewel. I love her.
So I do believe like that was like the direction I was going into, and then obviously life happens, and you wake up and you're an adult and you go through things, and life didn't turn out to be this glorious journey you're going to be on, and and just you follow the rules and everything works out, and it just changed, somewhere. When I moved to Pretoria, actually.
Where were you living before Pretoria?
At that point, after school, I was living Bloemfontein and then Potch. And still going on with this Afrikaans music thing. And, back then, my focus was like, I'm going to get this degree and I'm going to teach on the side, and become this folky singer with my guitar. And
Listening to no music at all.
and then I came to Pretoria, and everyone labeled me as this classical musician, and it was like, oh shit, oh, can I say shit?
Yeah, you can say shit.
I'm
not going to prevent you from living your life.
So that was a thing to go through, being like, now I can't go into this pop folky genre that I don't know where it come from, and
you just have to leave that behind now. Completely forget about that. It's past.
And I think I hated living in Pretoria, and I was super depressed, and like life just sucked very hard, and and I realized that I have all these freaking issues, and I don't want to live like this anymore, and I had this engineer bodybuilding boyfriend.
Your engineer bodybuilding boyfriend. That
And-
is quite a picture.
And I realized I wasn't happy. So I said to him, well,
The
I
most
don't know."
anti-music person you can think about.
Well, he studied music with me. That's how I
No
met him.
way.
Yeah, his second degree was engineer.
Okay.
And and then I said to her, well, this is really not what I think I want. He was a good friend, that friendship relationship. But I think he had just as much issues as I did, and I just hit this road. And when he left the house, I sat down on the piano and I just started singing an English song. What is song? I don't know.
Shongololo.
And I the first words was, today is the best day of days.
On that day?
On that day.
Wow.
It would have been wrong if it was better than this,
Oh, wow.
And then the sentence come off the sentence about this today and today and today. It was like this mockery towards myself, and I couldn't leave that song, so it just grew and grew and grew. And that was the first single of my first album, was Today. And it's the chorus is about, take me back to the road where I met you, because when I was young and I met this guy when we were both studying music, I felt like that was like, my life was going good and this is where I want to be, and I found people that understood me. So, I want to go back to that.
Yeah.
And just realizing that this is not actually,
It's not working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so this is like this crossroads song, and I think it just changed everything for me. And and then I started working with this idea, like, who would I be, and if I sing, and this is how Catharina started. Also, if you sing English Mitha, if you sing English songs, Mitha doesn't work.
Yeah. Okay.
The English reads it as Mitha Lube,
Okay.
and it didn't go with my vibe.
You can sell that as merch.
If only I knew.
New Mitha Lube.
And so it was just this whole journey, and that's the more I got through my issues, the more it,
So all of
vomited
these,
out in the songs.
So all of these songs that basically at that crossroad you talked about, and all of these songs that basically followed after each other, did you actually think that you're going to compile them all together in an album, or did they all just happen? You decided, well, I should probably put them all in an album. So how did your metamorphosis go from today to having the Untamed Pure as a physical thing that you can hold in your hand?
Well, it's quite a cool story, I think, for myself. So I started when because I was on this point to give up. I was like, okay, I'm going to be this music teacher. I'm going to make my father proud. And they're old school now. So they kind of live in this era where, you have to survive. And they were musicians and it didn't work out. So, they can't just work out for people, can it? And I think it was more than that for me. I think if I didn't do it, would I be fulfilled, even if it didn't work out, Yeah. So I wrote Today, and then I had five songs now. And I went to a guy. Oh, my mom begged me, like, please, 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 I'll pay musicians, just record this. And I didn't know what I was doing. I come from a
Your
classical.
mom physically begged you to make an album.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And no, she was like, just record 3 songs, yeah. And I was like, fine, I'll just make you happy, and I'm gonna. Well, like I said, I was from a classical background. I have no idea how to work with a band, and I didn't think about this beforehand,
Okay,
And so I work with guitarists and bassists, and they're all doing very awesome projects now, And I forgot what I was saying. The band, yeah. So I recorded it, and someone introduced me to this guy. His name is Andre Herter from Montana Studios. And we got everyone's pieces together and wada. And he looked at me and he said to me, "This is not you." And I was like, okay, I can't really care because this is just for my mommy, I'm like
The hell
giving.
with you, man.
And he said to me, just give me one song, give me one opportunity. I'm going to produce it for you. Because I'm an extreme Florence the Machine fan. And he said, let's get it into that vibe and so forth. And
Did he know that?
I don't know. But he was like, okay, but this is what people do. They work with producers. And I was like, sure. So we worked on this song, and I remember coming back and listening to it. For the first few hours, I sat with him going through the drums, and I was like, okay, this is cool. And anyway, so came back, listened to the song. And it's the first time that I've played my music to someone that knew how to hear all the other instruments, and I think that was the closest I ever got to someone to help me arrange,
Basically, take what you have in your head and just kind of fit all the puzzle pieces together.
Yes. So I just came and sang. That was awesome, and he was wonderful, and it was like, it's like, I call him my soulmate producer to this day, because we just have like this understanding, And
was it the only time you worked with him?
On this album, yeah. Oh, we did a few like covers as well, but then I did 5 songs, and then we're gonna release this EP, and I remember going like, okay, cool. Why do all this effort for 5 songs?
Exactly, all of this.
So I quickly went like, okay, let's like add. I think at that point I had 4 other songs, or busy with them, and then we decided to make the 10th song cover.
The Alanis Morissette one, yeah.
And back then I was doing my mini thesis, I think they call it.
Were you still with Copa at that time?
Yes, I was working at Copa, and I was doing my master's in music by Poch.
Okay.
And my
oh wow, that's a lot of work.
And today I wonder, how can I go back and just like, nowadays, like, oh, I didn't get through everything. I don't know how we did that when you were young.
All of that.
I think you never cleaned your house, to be honest.
No, you just ate, sleep, music the whole time.
So I was doing research in apartheid, and that also came through in the songs. And and I met this awesome guy that did music videos, and and he also just knew how to project this like thing about me, And then I gave the music to a guy to design the album art, and I wanted like an art piece that you can hang in your house. I actually have it framed in my house now.
There it is.
Yeah. And so if you open the album, it would like be this painting. But anyway, and they never met each other, and they never saw each other's work, and it came out on exactly the same thing, So it was just this thing that I thought like,
it's
okay,
an organic thing that just happened without any effort.
So, and that was a big thing for me. I think people can listen to the music and get the same kind of idea what it meant. And the album was just done, and I broke up with my boyfriend. Not the bodybuilder, the new boyfriend.
Okay.
And it was like this like really like heartbreaking thing. And I phoned my producer. I said to him, can we fit one more song? And we finished that song like in 3 days. Like it was just meant to be on this album.
You just had to squeeze that little puppy in there.
So that stay on the album.
Yeah.
And and then I sent my master's CD to get printed, and I paid my I think I paid in full just that I can get the discount and get my album in a week.
Get everything
And
out.
I think I paid it the Wednesday, and the Friday they sent the email that the company is bankrupt.
No way.
Yeah.
And your money?
Gone.
No.
I never got it back. Yeah. And luckily by then I had this superhero of a mom, and she said to me, well, she believes in the project. She's going to give me 20 grand to print my CDs with another company. And that happened. So does that answer the question that I can't remember anymore?
Yes, it does. No, it does. No, but okay. So chronologically, how long between moving to Pretoria to having the album out? How long did that take altogether?
Oh, years. No, it's. I wrote most of the songs in 2012 when I got here. Some in 2013. I think I started recording the first song in 2013. But this is something now that people don't know, is I saved money until I could afford Andre per song.
Oh,
So that's
wow.
and then
That's why it took so long, yeah.
And I think we were originally done in the end of 2014, and but it took now this. As I got money, I recorded, and the last song was recorded 2015, and the album launch was only in 2016.
Damn.
Yeah, I can't remember why we waited with the release though.
So, how do you feel about this album? Because as an artist, per song that you put out into the world, you probably feel very skeptical about how the world is going to accept the song. Okay, so now I've got a song, you're putting it out there, it's your heart, it is your feelings, it's your emotions, and now you've compiled a whole entire album full of those feelings and emotions that you put out in the world. So how have your mindset changed from releasing that album to now? How do you view the album now versus to when you've released it?
That's a very big emotional question, I think. I only started really going through issues about putting songs in the world after the album.
Yeah.
It's almost like I went through this whole season and we kicked a lot, and and it was a very difficult project to perform live, you know, because I worked with session musicians, even though I tried as much to use the same guys. I had to get a guitarist that could play synth on his guitar because most of the album was synth, so, and then you get all this commentary about, we cannot hear the guitar because there is no guitar, it's a synth guitar,
Yeah.
And
what are you talking about? What guitar?
and I struggled a lot to get drummers though.
Drummers that you can work with.
It's the project was, I don't know why drummers didn't want to play it though, because Andre was a drummer, so he produced 4 drummers. And I think it's because it is produced song, like pop songs,
Yeah.
so to get the drums,
It's more
and you had
proggy,
to,
it's more progressive than your average pop.
Yeah, I think it's
I guess.
you. I don't know. I'm not. Now it's gonna sound like I'm judging drummers. I actually had a flipping cool.
We're against drummers.
I had a flipping cool drummer. He used to combine acoustic drums and electric drums, which was perfect, Yeah, but now and obviously we all went on our own journeys. So I had to get a drummer in, and I was playing in a cover band with this drummer, and he was quite awesome to work with because he's a metal drummer, and like he just made everything sound like very rock. Yeah, you don't know, matter who you played with, he just brought this energy. It was quite great. But yeah, and if he couldn't play for me, it did make things difficult. And then my keyboard player got shot in the arm, and he couldn't play keyboard anymore. So all these things changed, and it was because you had to play on click. Everything had to be. It came with a lot of struggle, and I carry this thing on my own soldiers.
You carried it on your own shoulders.
Shoulders.
I can't even say it now. Your soldiers.
Yes.
Your shoulders.
So it's very stressful because now you have to make sure you can pay everyone always now, and you can't just go and like, we have a gig for you tonight, and go like, yes, let me quickly see if everyone's available. It made things very hard. So I reached a point where I went like, I can't do this, you know. And if I play it alone with the piano, it's super balladly, you know, everything. And I think it was fine. It fit with the changes that was happening in my life, you know, and this whole adapt to it. And then I moved away from trying to recreate something exactly like it was in the on the album.
But do you feel
know?
like you've left the album behind and moved on away from it?
I sometimes do feel like I do. Sometimes I go like, that was great and that was such a big part of me, you know, but I don't know if I always now associate myself with that sound, you know.
But how do you feel about the album itself now, as sitting here
I
right
know
now?
it's great. I think Andre did a great job, you know. I think it was brilliantly mastered and mixed and mastered.
Do you listen to it still?
I used to, but I think now, I don't know if I really listen to my songs. I listen to it if I need to get an idea, you know, like talking to yourself.
Yeah.
So now I listen to the new stuff to
Because you
have a new discussion.
You have a reference point from where you came from, and you've got an idea to where you want to go. So it's like a journal entry, you know. You know how you felt at that time. You know what you did during that day. You learned from it. You're a different person now. So that brings me to my next question. So after the Untamed Pure, which is a heavy album, it's not your Sunday morning driving listening.
No.
Unless, no, I don't know. I'm not saying don't listen to it on a Sunday morning. No. But I'm saying you moved away from a darker side of yourself and you brought out Maybe.
Oh, and Maybe was so fun.
Yeah, it's like such a vibey, happy ending song. Very adorable. So how did you go from Untamed Pure, Florence and the Machine, heavy music, I'm not saying metal music, but you know what I mean.
Like heavy on the heart.
Heavy on, like a very emotional music to bringing out this very poppy, fun, vibing song. How did that happen?
I think I used to play a lot of covers back then, you know. And because on the side we did Mitha covers, and then on the other side you had original music Catharina, which turned out to be the Catharina, you know. Life, I guess, and Facebook and how people associate with it. And then I left my job. I left Copa. And
you felt great. No, I'm just joking.
I did feel great. Not about Copa, but I think I struggled to deal with work environments, you know.
To spread your wings.
Yeah, I got very I don't know. That's a very that's a question for another day actually, because it deals with struggling with depression and how to put your face on every day for students, you know, and then also doing the face thing for your students and then feeling better about yourself. But I remember the drive to Copa in the mornings got me down because I felt like I'm wasting my life away, you know, and I don't think it has anything to do with teaching. I think it was I never took the step to just do full-time music, you know.
Do you think, sorry, I'm going to move away from Maybe now for a while, but don't you think putting on that face, dealing with those students every single day has kind of conditioned you in a way where you can cope in the out of world, in between inverted commas, the world in a more tougher sense? Don't you think, you know, being in that environment, in that extreme, have to be happy in front of all of these people because these people rely on the information you give them? Don't you think that taught you some emotional strength to actually deal with what after Copa would have brought you?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I say, you can't just stand there and have your own issues on your face constantly, or you know, it's not about me, it's about them. And I guess some students won't feel this way because I'm a teacher, you know, I'm not their friend. But the education was very important for me, you know. And I think the day I realized that students don't really want to value what someone with world knowledge have to share with them anymore. And I think it's a thing. It's now like a millennial thing, like they just want to go and just become pop stars, and I realized, like, I think my time was up there. You're
just gonna make your own life worse day by day if you keep going.
Because I was already not happy, because I didn't feel like I was living my full potential. I wanted to get to me. I didn't have time for me anymore, because it takes a lot of time to teach.
It's a giant leap to break away from that and decide, you know what, enough is enough. I need to move on.
Yeah, it was. And I enjoyed it. It's very hard to be your own boss. Anyone that's their own boss knows it's very hard to be your own boss. But I love that, climbing onto this new horse and experiencing a different side of me. And, I think, and this will also just go back into maybe, is I have extreme problems to identify with myself. I wake up this morning, I feel this way, I luckily married a guy that understands he has a different wife every day, but some days I like my pink hair, and other days I go like, oh my goodness, I hate this, and I never know who I am, I think. And I think that did bring a lot of struggle into my music, because the moment when people went like, yeah, but the Untamed Pure isn't you, and then I go like, yeah, it isn't me, and I struggle to relate with the album anymore, and I had all this like, oh, maybe I should do this, and maybe I should try bands, and maybe I should try this instrument, and maybe, and
so
I was like
today the word maybe started resonating.
And I think I can't remember how it started, but when I was writing maybe, I had this big like Benedict Cumberbatch
No,
season.
you said you're gonna do the voice.
It's my Benedict Cumberbatch song.
Yes.
I struggle over my words now, but anyway, so it is my Benedict Cumberbatch song. It is, because I couldn't stop freaking watch Benedict Cumberbatch movies and stuff, and I don't know where I started writing this song, but it's like maybe there is like a guy out there for me, and it's like all this, and it was just a fun like song to write.
It's just something that you actually could have fun with and not actually worry, I think.
Yeah, and then I started just playing it at gigs, and people loved it. So I was like, and actually when I went, because I did this song with Mark Billing, when I went to Mark, I gave him 2 songs, and the one song was very much more like the Untamed Pure, and I was with Pedro Barbosa there, and actually Pedro said to us, no guys, I think you have to try maybe, and that's actually how we didn't decide on the other song. We decided on maybe, and it was a fun project, and when we made the music video, we got actors and things, and I think it's the first
very fun music video.
Yeah, it's the first time I took myself away from the role, because I don't think I really associate with maybe, and that was what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be this transition into a new season, and what actually happened is I wanted to be more relatable and how I related to myself, and I had to. My guitarist got a job in Abu Dhabi, and I had to quickly get a new guitarist. And I knew a guy from Copa, a lecturer there, so I asked him to play a cover gig with me. And I kind of just like loved what he did with the covers, and I was like, oh, I wonder what he's gonna do with my music, So
I like saying as a musician thing exactly. It's like yo.
And and I said to him, okay, come play with me this gig. It was a fundraiser, and we went through the music once, and my bassist Raldo Matthias heard about it, and he's like, oh, can he join? I was like, okay, sure. They never met each other. We kind of walked onto stage and was like, this is Raldo, this is Udo. The guitarist is Udo Stiel. And this just magic happened between the two because they understood what they had to bring to the songs.
But started resonating from each
It was
other.
like the one was standing on my one side and the other one was standing on the other side, and it was just this like beautiful magic happening over my ears. On like I died inside. I was like, oh, this is beautiful. And we actually adapted the Untamed Pure 2 or more acoustic,
wow. Giving
yeah,
it
so
a whole new
yeah.
flavor.
So we took away from the synth, and while I played some of the synth. And and that's how this new season happened.
Yeah, please tell us more about it. It's very, very, very exciting. It is very cool. I mean, maybe it's awesome and everything, but you are busy with some really cool stuff. Do you mind letting us know what that is?
No. So so I wrote in this process a few other songs which started just after I left Copa. And it was this is because a lot of did I say this? A lot of people think that the Untamed Pures, there's like because there is love songs on like Dark Eyes. It was like this guy I was in love with in university. He's a good friend of mine today, but he had like this very dark eyes, but he was also this dark soul, So it was kind of like that type of love songs, and I don't know if everything was kind of love songs, but I think love did ruin me in my life. So I think that's what people resonate with, But I think it's more a struggle with myself and going through darkness and going into the light. And now I don't care. This next collection of songs is about love,
Well, what did a lot of people say about the Untamed Pure?
Well, everyone liked their own song on the Untamed Pure, or
no, you were saying you don't know if you mentioned it before, but a lot of people said something about the Untamed Pure.
Oh, they think it's love songs, Oh. Yeah.
No.
So.
No. Please go listen to this album, people, and let us know what you think.
So yes, so this bunch of new songs is the one that's coming out now. It's called Feed On, and Feed On is like someone asked me like, how mad did this person make you that you would write lyrics like this? And I was like, okay, kind of really mad,
like really mad.
So yeah, it's we already released the first one. It's I Heard You Say.
Yeah.
And it's actually a very big romance in my life that I'm challenging the idea I had about this person and how I felt about them. And I think sometimes you think relationships don't work out because it's your fault. And I had like this like no, I'm not going to accept this, And I Heard You Say is about this like, but I heard you say, like all these things. It's about people that actually play with your heart, and this was this person. And because they love you, they say they love you and they want to be in your life, but this is this whole back and forth game. And Feed On is also about this, It's and it's based on 2 Afrikaans idioms.
Which ones?
Meng jou met die varke en meng jou met die semels en die varke eet jou op. Imagine die semels eet jou op.
Imagine 'n semel eet jou.
and the ander een, I can't remember it, but it's about you won't throw your pearls with the pigs, And that's kind of my reference to this person is don't tell me you love me and leave me for the pigs to feed on. So it's like that whole thing. And then the next one is She's the Lover. This is a whole collection. It's like chapters,
And you've got artwork for every single one.
Every one. So they're not going to be released as an album. They're going to be released as singles. And each one of them have an artwork. I worked with an artist in Germany. Her name is Christina Rupp. And she's fantastic. So I basically gave her artistic freedom. And she would either listen to the songs or read the lyrics, and she would create the art. So I had no. There's one song that was artwork that I said like I want like this thing in, but I'm not gonna say which one that is. But anyway, so
surprise.
so yeah, so it's I want it to be each one this chapter with its own story and its own look and its own feel, and then it's She's the Lover, and She's the Lover is one of that songs that came to me when I was in the bath talking to myself, and I was like, oh, I need to sing this, you know. And
Immediately, bathrobe on, towel over there, go to the piano.
Exactly. No jokes. So
Awesome.
And it's also a song that just grew and grew and grew. And She's the Lover is your mirror image. It's not. If a lot of people ask me, did I have lesbian experiences? I'm not against lesbian experiences. I'm just. It's
what a
not
weird
my
question to ask people, though.
No, the words is She's the Lover, the love that set me free.
Yeah.
You know. So I don't know. Apparently.
It resonates.
Well, it's very much misunderstood. It's
Misunderstood.
So it's about like it's talking to my mirror self. You know, I think if I can explain it in that way, and it's also about at that point in my life, because the chorus is "Come find me when you're ready." No, it's about things with love will happen as it should if you don't search for it or make it happen, or And can I go through them? The collection.
Please, if you want to. If you want to. If you don't want to, we can leave some for a surprise. If you want to go through them, please.
And then I have my sailor. It's about having someone that's like your best friend in a relationship, and how they actually have their own journey and how you have to say goodbye to them, you know. And the final one that we're working on is I Know, and you heard it. No,
it's awesome.
I wrote it for my husband for our wedding day, and I sang it at the wedding. And I do feel like that's a good in conclusion to all these chapters, you know. So
how did let me put it like this, did getting married influence your writing in any way?
Do you want to ask him?
No, well, I'm saying for you, your writing process, how you write, what you think about your inspiration, being married, going from, having boyfriends and people and inspirations, and now you've got a person that is your person for the rest of your life. Has that influenced any writing style whatsoever?
He said to me many of times, he thinks I need to be sad to write, you know. Like he says, you're way too happy. Like, can I make you miserable that you can just,
Steps on your toe and run outside. No, I'm just joking.
But I don't know. I went through extreme writer's block that I haven't talked about yet, and it's a piece. It's a blog post that would be there one day, but we can somewhat talk about it now. My father passed away December 2018, and so my writing basically stopped, you know. And okay, yes, and I was planning my wedding, and you have now this married life, but it did break something in my writing, and I did stop making music for a while as well, because it's this whole big person that played a role in my life, and it's almost like one of my foundations was ripped from me, you know. So it's almost like if you need to prove something to someone, or make them proud, or if you do something for another person, doesn't matter in what shape it comes. It was a big thing to deal with, and I really did struggle to sit down and write. It got too heavy for me, so I couldn't write happy or what, and I felt a lot that if I force it, it's not going to work, you know. So I gave myself space and I stopped writing. And when
Why
we recorded this,
couldn't you write, or did you choose not to?
I think it's both. And I will not write just to write. I know there's people that go like, oh, but you're not like a singer, songwriter, or whatever. If you don't write every day, or you can't write on demand, it's just if you listen to the 6 songs, they are songs that just they happened for me. And the songs on the Untamed period, that was like, okay, I'm gonna write, is the songs that I felt didn't do well or did struggle,
Kind of like you forced them out.
Yeah, so I don't force songs out. Either they're going to resonate with me and I'm going to go like, yes, because then they will resonate with other people. But, yeah, so I would I'm definitely in a writing place in my life, but there's things that I want to happen to me first. And luckily, these 6 songs are happening to me now. And it's going to give me the next 6 songs, because this is basically what I want to do. I want to focus on more like this, like chapter release than releasing albums, because I need to think why I'm doing this and not like what musos do,
So would you say music is probably the most important thing that brings you through the day? What's your main inspiration that keeps you basically going, getting out of the bed, basically trying to prevent getting sad or depressed? What is your main source of wanting to keep continuing doing this? Is it for being able to create? Is it for being able to just write for yourself? The act of actually making music? Is it your husband? What keeps you from continuing making music?
Do you mean what makes me keep on doing music?
Yeah, what makes you keep on doing what you're doing right now? Why do you get out of bed in the morning? What's going on?
A big conclusion I made for myself, is that I had to stop trying to be a musician and going back to being a writer. Because when I was young, this is a whole journey that, I went on. When I was young, I didn't say I'm going to be a musician. I said I wanted to be a writer. And why, and all these things. I'm going back to my roots, So I think we spoke about this. I don't want to just try and be successful and just, I want to, it must be meaningful. I cannot,
Do you write music
it's not
for
going to
yourself?
be, it's not going to be meaningful if I'm going to force a song, even if I'm a good writer or not, if it flows from me, that the woman that wrote Eat, Pray, Love, she has this whole TED talk about it, but that is what I want to be, it must be meaningful, because if I'm going to try and do something that makes me gonna feel insecure or like, oh my goodness, you're gonna judge me on this, and I was already insecure about this song, So if I love this
you
song,
already started from there,
If I love this song, then I cannot care what you think about it, and this
exactly.
is how I feel about the songs. Like, I cannot care. I had to go through this journey. I had to learn. I learned a lot from this, because this is the first time I didn't work with a producer.
Don't you think you should feel about that in all aspects in your life? For instance, you need to do anything because you like it. And I think as soon as you think, I'm going to do this because the world will accept me for this, I think personally you will become a very miserable human being.
I do. And I think social media is making it hard for us. I do think you constantly...
measuring yourself with someone else's ruler.
No, yes, heeltyd blootgestel. Exposed to this thing, how people go like, oh, how do you go viral on Instagram? How do you go viral on
This is
TikTok?
how
How do
you're supposed
you,
to live.
Yeah, and we get stuck in it without knowing, And I struggle from a thing called perfectionism.
Okay.
And it makes it very hard then to put music out. It makes it very hard to... if it's not perfect, I struggle a lot with it. If it's not perfect, I can't deal with it. And I think that's why the last thing I released was in 2018 was Maybe, because I cannot deal with putting something out in the world that's not going to be perfect. So I had to have this whole conversation with myself, you know, just do it, or else it's not going to happen, and you're not going to share this thing you want to share with the world, because music is my art, and I want to share it. Yeah,
one of those unfinished projects.
Yeah, but now anything about our lives is so ruled by that thing. I have a lot of young people in my life, and I see like how that influenced their lives, you know, and I think how it influenced my life, and I think that is why, especially because I struggle with with this perfectionism thing now, why certain things in my personal life doesn't happen, you know.
I just want to ask in closing, if you could give advice to someone. Let's say someone is going through a bad patch, like you've gone through many of times when you write your music, but not everybody has got music, okay? So out of your own perspective, your own experience, someone's going through a bad patch and they don't know how to get out of it. What would your personal advice be to that person to actually try and keep going? As like a...
You mean not artist people?
No, anyone, absolutely anyone who does, anyone. So not everybody's got music, not everybody's got instruments.
Yeah.
So from your perspective, let's say your experience that you've been through in your life, if you have to say to a random person, give them advice to keep on going when times are tough, what would you say?
I love this question actually, because I do believe in this, all these things in our lives that makes you survive and grow. You know, I'm all about personal growth now. Like my whole bookshelf is full of self-help books, you know. So I read a lot about this, and I see that it basically comes down that everyone do struggle with this that we're talking about now, and because you're in a struggle with two parts of your brain. And if I need to think just how I survive is finding the things I can release into, you know. So I don't always just write music when I need it. I like to listen to other people's music that also maybe, you know, I love Jan Blom's music. It's music that helped me through things, you know. It's just that, like, it's association with pain, no? But it's not just that, it's a release. Meditation is a release. Writing a journal is a release, you know.
Caring for your plants.
Yeah, caring for your plants. It's it's taking care of yourself is the way you survive. It is I struggle to get out of bed, so I have a whole thing. Get out of bed and paint your face, you know, even if you don't want to paint your face. Just, you know, keep on. The thing is, if you're going to suppress, it's not going to help, you know.
You need to actually, instead of trying to bottle everything up, find somewhere where you can put all of that energy.
Yeah.
You know, find something positive you can throw it into, even if you think it might be something small, but you can't keep everything bottled up in one space the whole time.
And people need, I need to travel every, you know, so many weeks, or go out, you know. So I think everyone has that thing that makes them feel like I'm living my life, you know.
Or actually just living, you know.
I think a lot of people struggle with I'm not living my full life because I don't have money, you know. That's a big thing I had to go through, and just go like, well, my life is gonna pass by, you know. So dealing with the fact that either you do it now, either you practice every day to do it, because that is
Yeah.
the thing. You don't go like, oh, I'm going to change my life. I'm going to feel better.
And then
It's not.
and
It's
then
this
tomorrow you
whole
don't
journey.
succeed,
Yeah.
then you're back at square one, you know?
Yeah.
So you need to actually consciously work on it.
It's just if you do 25% today, it's 25% that you did, you know.
Exactly, yeah.
And maybe tomorrow you do 50, and maybe the next day you do 10, but it's just going on. I don't know if it makes sense.
Just basically don't stagnate, try and just keep on moving. you
Yeah.
know? So
It's like for some people to see their friends, you know, it's a release.
for me it's, and I'm going to say it in a very comical way, but I like to talk to people regularly just to try and convince myself I'm not going crazy. You know?
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, okay, great. I'm not the only one who feels like this. I can relate. You know,
Yeah.
I need to speak to people. I need to actually voice my opinion around people I trust, people whose opinions value to me. So that is very important for me to every now and then actually just speak to people. Otherwise, I contain everything in my head, and your own opinion about yourself can also be bad sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, one thing I do is weekly I talk to a friend of mine. He's a life coach. It's like getting free advice sometimes, you know.
Right.
But sometimes he's speaking, and I give the advice, you know. And then I have a friend. She's a fine artist in the Netherlands, and we also speak regularly. It is just that to my mom calls it soundboards, you know. They don't have the same ideas as me, and they not my husband, you know. So to say what you want to say about the world and how you feel to
Yeah.
these people that is non-judgmental, and they believe in you and
Completely
help you to
objective.
grow, yeah, you know. And that helped me a lot in this past few years, because the one is an artist and the one is not, and they both give me you know, it helps me through this journey to you know, because I do think in this life you have to talk to people. If you're introvert and you like just one person, just talk to that one person, you know.
That's what we're sitting here right now as well.
Yeah. So I think having the conversations, you know, and because one thing I get as an artist is I get a little bit stuck in my own bubble, and then I feel very depressed, and I don't want to do this anymore, and you know. But if you just
That's a spiral.
if you just talk to another artist and go like, oh, okay, I'm being, you know, just resonate your ideas a little bit. But it's funny you bring this up, because I had a lot of artists contacting me on during lockdown how to keep my how do I keep my mental health like so positive. When lockdown happened, when the epidemic happened, I realized, nah, this is gonna be a thing. You know, it's gonna be massive. And I think people need to be honest with themselves, but people are afraid to be honest because you don't want to fall in depression, and you don't want to go through this wave of emotions, and you don't want to open, I call them the floodgates, you know.
A lot of people can't also accept themselves.
Yeah, so that's what I did. I decided lockdown is going to be like this just time, and I'm going to do things that I never get time for, you know. So we started with that. And when it got extended, we just got continued, and then all these other things grew from it, you know. So it's not always just to close yourself down and go like, this is the most horrible thing that's happening. Because, you know, we all lost a lot of money, and we lost a lot in with this thing, you know. So it's not like, oh, my life was easy and I can just say this thing. It's because my life was hard and I decided it's not going to bring me down. You know, sometimes you have to have this.
This is something that is happening right now.
Yeah.
The sooner I deal with it, the better.
And I think that's how I got a little bit of my sanity. You know, it's just to be realistic about this is going to be a long journey. And I knew we're not going to gig. And so I decided, what can I do? If my life is going to change so dramatic,
what can you control?
What am I going to do? What can I control? And I think it does help that my entire life was kind of like that, you know.
Yeah.
I call my mom a gypsy. She could never stay in one place long. So I had to move and adapt. And I hate it. So it's not even like you can say like, oh, okay, now you have to practice, you know. I think maybe it just helped me to go like, okay, can't stomp my feet and be angry about this.
No, just, accept it for what it is, move on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I would just like to thank you for taking your time and
Thank
just
you.
speaking to me about all of these things. It's really cool, and I really respect for what you're doing, and I wish you all of the best of luck with your new music that's gonna come out.
Oh, thank you. And for you. And the EPs, it's the now now.
Yeah,
Oh.
things are happening.
Yeah.
We'll speak about my journey later. Otherwise, we're gonna just keep going like this. I just want to say thank you very much.
Thank you.
And if there's anything else you would like to say, you can say it now. Forever hold your pieces.
Now I don't know what I want to say. Now it's too many options.
Okay, cool. But thank you very much
No, thank you.
for tuning into the Kyle High Club. I'll post all of the links and socials for Mitha. And thank you for tuning in. Have a great day.
Bye.